Welcome to Social Media Marketing Module 4, where we focus on building customer loyalty, planning and creating social content. In Topic 1, we look at how you can use social media to improve customer loyalty and advocacy. With the expansion of the internet, organizations have been given the amazing opportunity to build and maintain long relationships with their customers, as there is simple and open channels for communication. Organizations have realized that forming relationships with customers leads to customer loyalty, and so they understand its importance. Mike Kunivsky says, "Your customers are not you. They don't look like you, they don't think like you, they don't do the things that you do, and they don't have your expectations or your assumptions. If they did, they would not be your customers, they would be your competitors." Considering this, think about how important it is to tie all your communications together into a CRM process. Now, in digital terms, we refer to this as eCRM. And eCRM is very much about how often are you going to contact your customer, how are you going to contact them, and are you going to rest your customers, what offers are you going to give to them, how are you going to link them back to your website, etc. Now, we call this eCRM in this space, and it includes developing customers from a lead stage all the way to a sale. All right, and it includes managing your customer profile information. It also includes facilitating upsells and cross-sells and offering support to your customers. Now, all of the principles of eCRM are important, and every business should have a CRM process, because your customer starts at one point, not even knowing about your brand, then gets to know your brand, then investigates your brand, purchases from you, and hopefully continues to purchase from you. And at each of those stages in their buying process, you want to manage your communication to them. So social media can play a role here, and we call this social CRM. Social CRM is the process of managing your customer-to-customer conversations to engaging existing customers, prospects, and other stakeholders with a brand, and so enhance your relationship with them. Social selling is also important, as it's a proactive approach to using social media to generate leads and sales, particularly applied to B2B marketing on platforms like LinkedIn, where it's possible to identify prospects up front and then connect with them. We recommend 6 activities that you can use to define goals and strategies for how social media can support your social CRM. First of all, you need to listen and manage your company and brand reputation. You also need to transform your brand through social media. So I've spoken about joining the conversation with your customers, joining in with communities, seeing how you can add value to those communities. And through that process, you will naturally start to acquire new customers. You also want to look to how you can increase sales to your existing customers that exist on those platforms. And ultimately, social media can play a vital role in delivering customer service. And that brings us to the end of Topic 1. Topic 2 looks at content planning. Content strategy refers to the management of any tangible media that you create and own, whether it's written, visual, or downloadable. Content needs to have a well-planned purpose. You also need to consider who you are creating the content for, what makes your business unique, and the formats and channels you are focusing on. All of these aspects will influence what content you create and what format it will take on. So in this topic, we're going to explain how to plan your content as part of your digital marketing and social media tactics process. So why do marketers need to create a content marketing strategy? Content marketing helps businesses to prepare and plan for reliable and cost-effective sources of website traffic and new leads. A reliable source of traffic and leads from your content will give you the flexibility to experiment with other marketing tactics. But how do you actually create a marketing content strategy? We've provided you with a process that will help you to put together an effective content plan. Step 1, you'll remember this, is to conduct a persona research process. So you really want to understand right up front who is your perfect customer. You then want to run a content audit. We've discussed that in the first step of SOSTAC, which is your situation analysis. Third, choose a content management system. Fourth, brainstorm content ideas. Now, your content ideas can come from inside your business, it can come from competitors, it can come from other industries. So this is where you've got to, throw your net quite wide and have a look at what's going on around you. Determine which types of content you want to create. Is it going to be video? Is it going to be static posts? Is it going to be blogs? And then publish and manage your content, and most importantly, don't forget to measure your results. You're also going to have to build yourself a content calendar, because there are a lot of moving parts when it comes to social media content management. A content calendar will give you the big picture and will tell you what is planned for when. Your content calendar will become the hub for everything that you post. Keep in mind that there are best practices when it comes to best times to post, and that each channel may be different. A content calendar will make it easier to collaborate on social media posts with different people across your company as well. Many of your topics could be evergreen content, and by that we mean content that doesn't date. So for example, a Valentine's Day content post will date. Next week it won't be relevant, okay? So try and create some evergreen content that's relevant to your business and your industry that you can use over and over again. You want content that's going to have a long lifespan that will remain relevant for extended periods of time. There are many different types of content. Just a few to name would be blog posts, ebooks, case studies, templates, infographics, videos, podcasts, and of course your social media posts. There are many more that you can review in your booklets, but this brings us to the end of topic 2. Now in topic 3, we are going to teach you a tool. It's an online tool called Canva. And this tool will teach you some basic design skills. It's important to have this in your toolbox as a social media manager or marketer, because there might come a time where you have to create your own content. And Canva, it's a very easy to use tool, and it has many features and functionality that will enable you or anyone to create a variety of different types of content. And you don't actually have to be a designer to use it. So in this topic, we're going to introduce you to Canva and get you creating some of your own content. And when you do your assignments, you'll have some activities there that you can complete in Canva. So follow the steps in your booklet and get started with creating some content. Canva has lots of categories of different things that you can create. And each category has a number of templates that you can choose from. It also has some stock images for free. You can see which ones are free because there's no dollar sign in the bottom right corner of the image. So if you don't see a dollar sign, that's free to use, and you can use it in any of your posts. So go through that in your booklets, complete the activities, and you'll see how easy it is to actually create your own online content for social media. And that will bring you to the end of topic 3. Then topic 4, we continue the discussion for creating social content. But for this topic, we look at how great visuals are only as good as the social strategy that supports them. And we looked at this right from the beginning of this course, where we said you need a strategy, and that's why we introduced you to SOSTAC. Remember that the creation of the visuals is part of the tactics and action part of your strategic plan. So we're going to look at some best practices for creating your social media visuals, and we will provide you with a number of links to design resources and tools other than just Canva that you can use. We'll also introduce you to the process that you can follow to ensure you are respecting copyright and giving credit where it's due for using other people's images, etc. And then finally, we provide you with a list of best practice to consider when creating your content for social channels, and an overview of the various ad formats available on each of those channels. So when you are creating social media content, there are some useful guides that are available for you to use, and you need to also develop a guide for your own company. And the reason for this is because the way social media management is going within organizations is it's not just one person's job anymore. So as a social media manager, you need to create a guide. It's almost like a brand guide that will explain who the audience is for your brand. You can create a mood board that shows what the images should look like, or the tone of the message, what it needs, how it should come across, any themes that you want to run at certain times. You can even include your content calendar in there so there's no clashes and conflict with other departments, and also some timing around what gets posted when. So consider creating a social media guide for your brand and publishing this inside the business. Some more best practices for creating social media visuals include having a very clear subject line, using natural light in your photography where possible and avoiding stock images, choosing complementary colors so that your images and your posts are bright and vibrant, keeping it simple. Don't put too much text onto your images. Don't overload the information. Keep it simple and have a clear thought that goes with each post. And also don't over edit. Remember, we are not trying to be too formal. We're trying to speak and communicate in the language of the customer. Just a word on copyright. It's easy to source images on the internet, but be very careful that you understand copyright law. Some images are what they call royalty free, and you are welcome to use them. There are many stock libraries that allow that, like Unsplash is one, Pexels, etc. But where possible, give credit to the photographer that has actually allowed you to use that photograph. Then some more best practice, consider your image sizes. Each channel is different, and if you put the wrong image size onto certain channels, it's just going to chop that image where it has to. So somebody's head might get chopped off. It could be your CEO, so be very careful of that. And be tasteful with your text. If you're going to put text overlay onto your images, make sure it's not cluttered. Make sure it's clear. Use punctuations in a standard way. Is everything capitalized or is it caps? Try and keep your brand look and feel the same with everything that you create. Add your logo where it's appropriate, and be mindful of representation of different cultures. We've seen this in the Clicks Tresemme advert. Do not step over the line on subjects and cultures that are going to be sensitive to the audience. Add animation if you can. Anything that moves, it doesn't have to be a full-on video, but a little bit of animation is more eye-catching. Add subtitles to your videos, we've discussed that. And be creative. Don't be afraid to push the limits of the square box on Instagram. How can you use that square box and be creative within it? Now, there are a number of advert formats on each platform, and we have listed all of these for you in your booklets on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and on YouTube. So you can go through the details of each type of advert, when to use them, and we've even provided quick links and guides to those platforms where it shows you step by step how to set them up. And that brings us to the end of topic 4 and module 4 of your course. Thank you very much.